What's up, YouTube? I am Z-Tone Train, and this is just a basic dude vlog. I wanted to check some new stuff out on the channel. We haven't done a ton of unpackaging or unboxing videos lately. I used to do a ton of videos where I would buy a piece of gear at the Walmart or at Ace Hardware, somewhere like that, and I would unpackage it and kind of check it out, get a first impression of it on the video, and then later on do a review of it after we had used it for some time, right? So the stuff that I got to make videos with lately is stuff that I really wanted to check out because I think it's cool, but also because I wanted to do some more unpackaging videos so we would have new stuff to test the products in the future. So today what we have is the Ozark Trail 7-inch spring-assisted knife. Now, where I originally come from, spring-assisted knives are illegal. But here in Florida, you can kind of have a lot of different things that I couldn't have before. So we're going to check this one out. I know I said that I didn't want to do a bunch of knife videos because I already had a ton of pocket knives and things. But I really thought this one looked cool. I like the blue color. I like that it's spring-assisted, so let's check it out together. So we're going to whip out the good old handy dandy, super duper, buck 736, and we're going to open them up. So we're just going to go right through the bubble. There's probably a more efficient way to do this, but I'm not going to find the more efficient way right this second. We're just going to do it this way. So, let's see. There we go. And let's get him out of there. The knife clip is in the cardboard. So, all of the Ozark Trail knives, when you buy them out of the package, come with this little kind of rubberized stopper to keep it from going through the package and keep it from hurting you. Now, if you look at it, these are blue anodized aluminum scales on it. And my big question is if these were solid aluminum scales, like the buck 736, like the buck 715, would you really need to have a steel liner in it? So you have this steel liner. If you look at other anodized aluminum handles, they just don't have the steel liner in them. So I think that during the use review, where we're going to do a couple of use review videos, one on the last knife that we looked at, and I have some more videos coming up with gear that I bought just to check out. I'm wondering if we put this through hard use, would that not be a solid piece of aluminum because it has a steel liner? A few years ago, we did a multi-tool, where the outside of it was a hollow shell with a steel liner on the inside, and it broke. I'm not saying that that's what this is. I'm asking, right? It doesn't hurt to ask questions. So just first impressions, it has a nice weight to it. It's not too heavy and not too light. It is heavier than some of the knives that we've checked out lately, but I think that's because it's made of, aluminum and stuff. It's a really nice, it's got kind of an elegant style. That's a weird word to use for me in a knife review, but it has a nice feel to it. It feels pretty well balanced for an inexpensive knife. And if you look here, it has a thumb lock, liner lock. So a thumb liner lock here. So we're going to close it. Interesting. So to keep it from snapping on your fingers, it's got some kind of locking mechanism. And I think that has to do with this little knurled lever on the back. Oh, so there we go. See that? Okay. I'm going to assume that when that's pushed into place, it won't open. So we have it pushed all the way up against the blade right here at the top. And we're going to try and flip it. And this lock is to keep the spring-assisted knife from popping open when you have it in your pocket or you're pulling it out so you don't hurt yourself. So it's a safety lock. So you have to move the safety lock down all the way. And it's got a pretty good snap to it. Going up, you can feel the pieces of metal sort of grind together, but coming down away from the lock, it snaps into place. And then you have this little fella here off the back of the blade. And we should, oh, very nice, pop right out. As it popped out, it locked right there. So the spring-assisted knife, it's pretty good. I've never owned a spring-assisted knife, so I don't know if that was fast or not. Then I guess you could push this back up into place, and he's not going to come down on your fingers when you reset it, when you close it. So let's do that again. Let's take a look. So this slides down, the lock slides down. Then you have a thumb lock. So you have two safeties to shut it. And we're closed. Locked in place, it won't open. Unlock that, and then the spring-assisted knife opens. It's kind of cool. I've never had anything remotely like this before. One thing that I find interesting about it that I'm not sure that I like, this doesn't have an Allen wrench key to it. So I don't know if you can't tighten this. Here we go. Okay, so if you look underneath the belt clip, then you can see that there is an Allen key hole there for that main bolt that holds everything together. The clip for this knife is at the top, which I've stated in the past. I like mine clips to hang off the bottom of the knife, so I could pull it out this way. This one's at the top, so when you pull it out, you have to pinch it and pull it out into your hand like this, which is fine. It's not inconvenient or anything. That's a personal preference. So unlock it, snap them open. It's cool. The way that I feel about that is that it's neat. I think it's a really neat, it's got a cool, like, they sell lines of pocket knives. Some places sell lines of pocket knives that are what you'd call like a businessman's pocket knife, or something that a person would, a small pen knife or a smaller knife that someone would carry to an office instead of something that you would use out in the world, right? Which is, most of my knives are pretty rugged and get pretty rugged use. This kind of has more of a dressy look to it and sort of more of a dressy feel to it. Most of the anodized aluminum knives that I've had, you could feel a more of a rough texture to the aluminum. And this, if it was wet, would probably get pretty slick. So if your work was wet, if you had to do something with it that required it to be wet, you could feel that your hand might slip on it. But it also has this finger groove to kind of keep it from doing that. And then this probably could act as a stop to keep your hand from slipping forward on the knife. Depending on what you had to cut or what you were doing, you could slide on that aluminum handle and hurt yourself. I really like a lot of the stuff that Ozark Trail has been doing lately. It's not a huge knife. It's got a nice size to it. The blade is 3 inches, and the handle is 4. So that's how they came up with the 7-inch number. I think that the lock is interesting, except I think it might need to be oiled a little bit. The lock has a grind between the metal pieces as you're sliding it. So I think just a little dab of grease might be handy there. It's gonna rain a little bit harder now. I'm in front of a hurricane that's coming in, and so the beginning of the system is coming in. If you hear it and it's wrecking the quality of the video for you, there's going to be another video down the road where we won't have that. And I understand also that there's a lot of car noise in the background, and they're going fast. And it's just because everyone's running around trying to get ready for a hurricane. They're probably trying to find gas stations that have fuel in them. What do you do? So, the 7-inch buck. The 7-inch Ozark Trail spring-assisted folding knife. It has a good quality kind of feel to it. It feels, you know, it's light. It feels that it weights out towards the front of the blade. It's got a really nice look to it. It's dressy. Like if I was going to, like take my wife out to a nice dinner or something, instead of having something that looks a little bit more gnarly, maybe I would put this in my pocket as opposed to a bigger, rougher looking blade. But it is nice. The spring assist is cool. That is cool. Like I'm not against that. That's really neat. The way that opens is neat. And I've never had one that does that before. So that's really, really pretty nifty. And for the price, this is crazy. This was $6 at Walmart. That's really inexpensive for what it is. And it doesn't have wiggle. The blade locks very nicely into place. And what we're going to do is the same as the 6-in-1 multi-tool that we just checked out. And we have some more stuff coming down the road. We'll do some use review stuff. A lot of times on my channel, I like to use a product before I review it. This is more of an unboxing and packaging video and just getting a first impression of what's going on here. So what I'm going to give this for now is a 3 out of 5. And that's prior to a use review. I'm going to say 3 out of 5. And the reason that I'm going to say 3 out of 5 is I'm curious why there needs to be steel liners. Maybe it's just to make that liner lock, though. We'll check that out. And I'm going to look at a couple of my other knives and see if that's a fair assessment. The grind to the lock, maybe just the more you use it, and I guess it has to be kind of rough to lock into place. It sort of looks like it's a little bit off kilter in there. And also the slickness of the handle is going to keep this a 3 out of 5 for now. Maybe after a use review, we'll be a little bit more happy with it, and the score could go up. So the 7-inch spring-assisted Ozark Trail folding knife is currently a 3 out of 5, and we'll check it out more later. Now I am Z-Tone Train. This is just a basic dude vlog, and I'm out of here. I hope you guys have a great day. We will talk again later, and I'm out. Bye bye.